Roy, you want to tell everybody why we're late?
Yes, it's because of Tanner, and it absolutely is because of Tanner. Really, really late. This guy is just rude. I thought Canadians were nice, but I guess that's not the case.
He's just rude. I actually didn't realize the time.
We know. You were yapping away on your own live stream, and I had to come in there just to make sure you knew you had a show that you had to do.
I was like mid-sentence, but I saw your name pop up on the side, and I said, "Oh, Mitt's joining. Like, that's such a nice thing. Like, I'm always in his streams. He's popping into mine." And then whenever I finished my sentence, I actually read your comment. It was like, "What are you still live for? Join the freaking show." And I was like, "Oh, okay, sorry, Mitt." And I just immediately ended my stream.
Yeah, well, it goes to show you were having so much fun with your own audience, which means the connection you're building with them is so strong that you lost track of time. That's the bullish point of view.
I don't think many people go to work and are more energized and more excited whenever the show is done than whenever they start. Like, I find this charges my battery. You know, I love what we do so much, just following businesses, seeing how capitalism works, trying to benefit off of it. I'm having a blast.
Yeah, it's super fun. And thank you to everyone being here once again for another. How long have we been doing this pod, bro? We started in April? No, earlier than that, March.
Well, are you talking Tech Bros, or are you talking about the unnamed
Hood Weekly that turned into Tech Bros? It's been like almost 7-8 months now, I think.
Yeah, so. This is our third name now too. Robinhood Weekly, Hood Weekly, and this.
It's Boys in the Hood Weekly.
Yeah, 4. You're right.
I don't think we were ever Hood Weekly.
Yeah, that's right. It's Boys in the Hood. We tried that one week, and it was like, no.
Yeah. Well, we're here. We're here today. All right, we got a lot to talk about. Robinhood, obviously, Tessie, some other things going on in the market, Google. I mean, there's a variety of different headlines, so we'll try to get through it in the next hour. Roy is buying a Tesla. Roy, you want to just talk about your Tesla experience before we get into Hood?
Yeah, I'm not buying the dip on the stock because it's not dipping. I'm buying the car. This will be our second Tesla. We bought a used Model 3 last year. It was our first Tesla entry into the ecosystem. Loved it. My wife was supportive. She's like, hey, get whatever car you want. Used, good price. It's like under 20,000 with the incentives. 2022, 50,000 miles. So it was somewhat used, but we loved it. My wife loved it. She didn't want to drive any other car. And there's a lot of incentives, rebates, referral things. And if one of you guys is a somebody that used a referral code from me back in November, thank you very much. But it was an easy buy. Even the craziest thing is the insurance on our brand new Tesla costs less than the gas vehicle's insurance. That is the vehicle's probably worth $4,000. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we're getting Thursday.
So you're gonna be a 2 Tesla household.
Yeah. This one will be brand new. So if you're wondering about deliveries in Q2, just add +1 to it because we're getting one more. It's our second new car that we ever bought. We usually do used, lightly used, but it felt right this time, especially with the incentives there. And white seats, blue Model Y, the refresh. We got to drive it. There's a 48-hour demo drive, which is an incredible experience. If you've never been in a Tesla, you get to take it home, run it around. There's no high pressure cells or anything. They do a good job of showing you any differences that you're not used to, how to use full self-driving. And so you can actually do that in the 48-hour demo. You could not in the 30-minute demo before. And we thought we were going to buy one anyway, and that just sealed the deal. So it's clear that those work, at least on one person, myself and my wife, really. And this is going to be her Tesla. So happy wife.
Happy
life, baby.
Yeah. And ironically, we want to keep our debt level the same overall. So I am selling some stock to make this purchase happen, even though we do have the 1.99% APR. We want to keep the debt level the same in case we do move, because that does have ramifications for the mortgage. The only thing that we owe on is a car and our house. But so I'm selling some Palantir and took a little bit off of some vertical leaps. Or vertical spreads rather for Robinhood. There's nothing wrong. You guys do you, but there's nothing wrong with taking some money that's earned in the market and using it to bless you in the real life as well. So I think all three of us have done that.
100%.
Yeah.
That's the point of the markets, right? You invest at the end of the day to give yourself experiences like a car, which are going to make you more happier,
Yeah.
That's what matters. All right, let's get into it. Big news that broke on Friday night. Quite frankly, I don't know if Vlad wanted to tweet this, but I think he kind of had to because us hood junkies figured it out and he kind of realized, hey, we can't deny this anymore. Mortgage rates, baby. Looks like if you sign up to Robinhood Gold, you will get a discounted mortgage rate or the potential for a discounted mortgage rate through Sage Home Loans. Tanner, we'll start with you. What was your take as soon as you saw this come out?
So, I mean, I think we knew it was coming. I think one of the earliest Robinhood weeklies was even me talking about the way that they're going to do this is through a partnership. Seems like that's exactly what's going to happen. Zero risk on their end. It's, perfect fee-based referral revenue. Gotta love that. Not every single user is going to use it. I think that that's the wrong thing. A lot of people are trying to make direct comparisons here. I think that the idea is that if they close this on a single user, which is obviously going to be the case, there's going to be plenty of people that end up choosing this, that it increases average revenue per user without remotely affecting the quality of the product or affecting people's, like the way that they interact with Robinhood. In fact, it probably even increases wallet share. So I'm very happy that this product exists. Roy probably saw this before. Roy, I think I said 5 months to you the other day that it happened probably 5 months. I remember that this was actually one of my questions for the first interview that I did with Vlad. So whenever that happened that was what, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago? Like it was a long time ago that we knew that this was coming.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a survey that came out on platform, and I took it. And one of those questions they asked was, if you'd be interested in a discount on mortgage rates as a gold member. And I'm like, yeah. Like every product that they have there. And I think, I don't know, I thought that this is pretty interesting news. Like it's the nice thing about the referral business is it's pure upside. Either you don't get any referrals, in which case nothing's really changed, you're not hurt, or you do, and the other party, Sage, they have a lot of upside, but they also have the risk too. There's no risk to it on defaulting or anything like that.
Yeah, I thought it was super bullish. I don't even know what the unit economics of this look like, but I think I think the whole point of this is deepen the relationship and make it a stickier product. I think there were some people over the weekend that were like, this has no impact. It's not sticky. It's not that big of a deal. And I have no idea what's going on in these people's heads. Some of the people that tried to analyze this, it's just embarrassing how they're making their analysis. It makes no sense. If you are a gold subscriber and you get a mortgage via Hood, you are probably going to be a gold subscriber for a long time. If you are not a gold subscriber and you want to get a discounted rate because you're in the business to buy a house, which a lot of us in the demographic that are on Hood are, you're going to sign up to gold. It's just very simple. There's no debate about this. This is very simple. If they succeed at accurately distributing this product to their 25 million user base and even get 0.5% of people that sign up for it, this becomes incredibly sticky. And the ability for them to diversify and turn this into an entire loan referral platform across auto loans and a variety of other things. I mean, I think this is just going to be an additional step to get people into the credit card, options, crypto, all that stuff, even if you don't know Robinhood outside of the fact that you want to get a mortgage with them. And if you do know them more than just the mortgage product, but that's just one of the 7 different ways you use Hood, I feel like this becomes a real ecosystem effect that we're all looking for here.
So Tanner, any insight as far as what mortgage referral fees that might be coming Robinhood's way usually look like? Is that a tiny slice, or is that something that is pretty nice?
Well, so I used to sell mortgages before, and so this is another part that I want to talk about is term life insurance as well. Essentially, mortgages and term life insurance go together like peanut butter and jelly, because you don't want to leave a large piece of debt with your loved ones if something were to happen to you, especially if you're the breadwinner in the family. And the premiums that you end up winning as the person that actually brings the lead, the broker potentially, is huge. People make their entire livings off, going out and trying to acquire people to sign up for a mortgage or sign up for life insurance. It's usually based on the amount that they actually originate, right? It's never flat fee. Well, I mean, I can't say never, but the way that it always was for me, it was based on the, amount that was actually originated on. And It's absolutely massive. Like this is easily into the 4 digits per product if they get mortgages or I mean, even very, very small mortgages would be at least $1,000. Now, I don't know if it's different for Robinhood's relationship because they're also going through Sage. You know, they're seemingly giving back another $500 to the closing fee. I don't know if that's Robinhood giving that as part of their referral cut that they're giving back to the user. I don't know any of that relationship yet. All I know is that it's a very high, revenue product for Robinhood that essentially is a zero ask additionally. People are already coming, they're paying $60, a year, adding on all their trading fees, everything like this, all for the privilege of making Robinhood more money through another product. I mean, it's a beautiful business. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited about them probably rolling out term insurance and potentially auto loans and these sort of things even further down the line. I mean, insurance will be a big part of this for sure, though.
Yeah, that's a good take. I hadn't even thought about insurance, but that is part of finance. So yeah, go ahead.
You both agree with me. This is really sticky.
What do you mean sticky?
If I'm using Hood every day and now I get a mortgage with them, I'm probably not leaving being a Gold subscriber for a long time.
Well, I mean, you could technically just be like, okay, great, I got the deal on the mortgage, I'm gone. And that's not a bad thing for Robinhood either, because keep the referral bonus. But yeah, the more features and products that Robinhood Gold has, the more sticky it does become, especially for those that are like, well, I'm thinking about buying a house, maybe I'll stick around. And the value's already there. Like, even if all you're doing is just contributing to your Roth, that pays for itself and more.
Yeah, I agree. Tanner, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say that it increases the stickiness too much. I like the more the merrier, right? I think that honestly, Chime Plus, Robinhood Gold, SoFi Plus, all of these different fintechs with their sort of premium ad are going to be looking to partner with 100 different companies to just slap on additional valued perks that they are also getting paid to offer, by the way. That's the thing that I love about this. Like, one of the more recent perks from SoFi was, hey, I think it was like 40% off CNBC Plus or something like this. CNBC is paying them for that opportunity, right? SoFi is not adding to their expenses. They're getting paid to offer another great product. And so that's what's going to continue to happen. And the flywheel is going to get bigger and bigger. But in terms of stickiness for a mortgage, there's definitely, I would not believe that they have to stay on Robinhood Gold in order to continue to have that mortgage.
Okay, cool. That's fair. Dude, so this is also something I was thinking about in the context of how this plays out. It's like, if their demographic they can see are in the first main purchases of their, like the big purchases of their life, like a home, do you think they diversify to get you other types of products like cars or life insurance, like you mentioned?
Yeah, I definitely think they're going to get reached out by a lot of different companies, probably like Ladder, the same sort of companies that want those referrals, to go to Robinhood and suggest that as sort of like a bundling.
Yeah, that's really the compelling thing about Robinhood, I think, for a lot of these companies is, of course, it's a growing profile as far as Gold members, rapidly growing. And these are people that are willing to pay for a product. Let me share this so people can see. So Robinhood Gold itself, I mean, you just look at it ramp. And so that's really the cohort that they want to go after. All of Robinhood, I'm sure some people would like to, but this is probably the most valuable segment for the most part. And we know that the average Robinhood user is around 35 years of age. So these aren't people that, if somebody, nothing's against being 70, and we'll hopefully all get there someday. But at 70, you're not looking for life insurance. You might buy a car. You're probably not going to be buying a house. A lot of these products that they'd really love to offer are just not that compelling. Versus when you're 35, maybe you're looking at buying your first home, or maybe you had a starter home and you want to move to something else. Car, life insurance, all that stuff comes into play. So I think that they offer a very compelling portfolio for people to be able to offer the products. I think we'll see actually I guess a question for you guys. I think that we'll probably see at least one more of these type of partnerships before the end of the year. What do you guys think?
Yeah, and I think it'll be insurance.
Yeah, maybe it rolls out with banking. I mean, that could be pretty exciting. And then, yeah, I agree with this comment as well, Sam. If you can use my assets to underwrite the mortgage, I mean, if you've got 10,000 shares of Tesla that you bought 10 years ago, I mean, you should be able to get a discounted mortgage rate on that.
Yeah.
You know?
No, like we ran into that. So when we moved down to Texas close to 3 years ago, wasn't an ideal time, but it was for a career move for my wife. And we had most of our assets were invested, not just in Roth and IRA, but just in our direct account as well. And it's up a lot more now. But at the time, I was really frustrated because the underwriters looked at that as not even existing. They didn't take it into consideration at all. And because we were moving and it was new jobs, like it was very hard to prove like that we were sound. And so I think that we got a much worse rate. We had to shop around a little bit too. Rates were climbing also rapidly at the time, which didn't help. But we ended up just because that wasn't taken into account at all, very disappointed with the rate that we got. So, but it looks good now. Rates are terrible.
Yeah, the discounted rate looks way better given how terrible some of these rates are. Quick thing before we talk about the crypto stuff. Here's something that I just found right now. Concierge. So that is officially rolled out to certain people. This is what the graphics look like. This is what someone who posted it sees as their user experience. You got Vlad right there to give you an introductory video on a new level of support. And here are the benefits: text messaging, phone appointments, priority support 24/7, and you can jump the line to talk to a different agent whenever you need.
This is platinum.
Well, it's called Robinhood Concierge, but yeah.
Yeah, but they renamed it. But that's what this is, right? It's just a higher level of support for users that have high engagement. That's what the Platinum Desk is.
Yeah, basically.
What else could this be?
I don't know if they're calling it Platinum is my point, but
yes, yeah. But all the hires for Platinum Desk, I think that we could probably say that we know where those people have gone now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's Vlad himself that's operating the help desk, I think. So.
Hello? I think he did say that he was actually doing that before, right? He was answering some of the support calls.
There's a lot of, I know Alex Chris is one of them. Vlad is one. And there was another one that I saw too. I don't remember who it was right now, that when they have a customer facing product, that they find benefit, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes per week of just sitting down and interacting with customers so that they don't lose sight of that experience because it's so vital for them. And I think that that's really laudable.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I would imagine in the early days, Vlad was doing a lot of stuff to get this up and running and talking to their users. Okay, crypto event, June 30th, next Monday. We'll see the event and then we'll get to talk about it on the show. What are you guys expecting? Do you think the street's going to basically give them another expansion of their multiple after they see it?
Probably, because we talked about this before, but they have like 360 something million worth of stablecoin in their holdings on their 10Q filing. 10K also shows it. So it's not just sitting there because they're bored and they don't know what to do with the money. It's there for a reason, and I imagine that announcement will come next week. Right now, as AI was in early 2023, if you mention AI 10 times, you get a 10% boost in your stock. That's what stablecoin is doing for most companies at this point. We saw Fiserv with a big announcement today. PayPal was involved in that one too. But regarding the stablecoin, we see Circle flying high, Coinbase, a lot of these others as well. So as long as that doesn't change in the next week, and as long as I think it's a very high likelihood that they announce some sort of stablecoin product that is going to be credible or incredible, probably they'll get an additional premium. There's a lot of TAM unlock and TAM expansion that's going on with Robinhood right now too, so that's part of it.
I think we're going to see a bloody end to Circle, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Wait,
end,
so
but not
stock
end.
or company?
Stock.
Okay,
Stock.
yeah.
Circle's going to do fine.
Yeah.
Circle's going to do fine, but like Paxos is doing amazing things. Essentially, every single new stablecoin issuance that we've seen has been from Paxos. And the only time that you see Circle a part of any of them is interoperability, which essentially means like they are joining them, they're not fighting them, they know that they have nothing new to offer, and so they just say, hey, if you send us money, we will accept it. Like, I don't see how this could potentially continue to climb to, I mean, maybe it hits $310 or whatever, we hit the 10x, but like, what are we looking for? Who's buying at these prices?
That's what I was gonna ask. Who is buying this shit, bro?
Traders. And I think there's traders. I think there's people that have waken up late and realized, oh yeah, when we were saying, I know Tanner and I were talking about it. I'm sure you were, you were trying to figure out stable coins at that point, Amit. So we don't get everything right, but you got that now. But we were talking about the year of stablecoin, and quite a few others were.
I get the pegging part. I understand that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you kind of get it. You see the value, but so back in like August, September, we were talking about one of the growth vectors of this next year was this is a year of stablecoin. I mentioned it a number of times. I'm not the only one, and now the market has caught on to that. People have caught on to that, and the market is very much in the short term. They trade based on the narrative. So perfect timing with the IPO for Circle. It's worked well with Coinbase. The crazy thing is, I'm bullish on stablecoin. And I mentioned, by the way, that when we were in the distant past, when we were talking about private companies that we invest in, Paxos was one of those I mentioned because I'm like, this is coming. And of course, they're private. I have no way to invest in them. It's kind of frustrating. But so Circle, it's exciting because it feels a little bit like Palantir, only in this way that they have this massive narrative behind them, and there's not many direct ways to invest in a stablecoin company at this point. But I think people, if you're investing in the long term, like the multiples are extreme, you're largely investing in 3-month treasury yields staying up or going higher, which I think is very unlikely. And you're also failing to perhaps realize that Circle, 70% or so of their revenue is captured by Coinbase. Just invest in Coinbase if you want to invest. It's a good company. It's a great company, I think.
70% that goes through that tunnel.
So it's 50% revenue share on the currency itself, 100% that's on Coinbase's platform, which is largely used just for Web3 right now, but there's a lot of volume, and they own direct shares of like, it's under 10%, but it's something close to 10%. So yeah, they capture, it's somewhere close to 70% of the revenue of Circles. Like, look at the multiples. Like, just if you're bullish on it, great. Just think about investing in Coinbase. And I don't hold Coinbase. I'm not saying it to pump that stock. I don't care about Coinbase. I do a little bit, but
it's in my draft, so I'm caring about it.
Yeah. We're going to do the draft, by the way, tomorrow. And I've got
who's doing the draft. Are you guys doing it?
Myself, Tevis, Couch Investor, and Data Driven Investing, and we might have another guy as well. So Tevis is working on that.
I love it.
If I would say anything, do 4 people, because it's, actually pollable instead of doing Google Forms and all that stuff. It was kind of annoying.
That's true. Yeah.
I have one extra person. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to cut anyone out. I'm just saying, do 4, or you could do 8, but like, there's no benefit to just doing a little over 4. Yeah.
So the tokenization stuff, we think that's definitely coming, right?
Yes, I think Robinhood is going to show off a stable coin. I think that they are going to talk about real world assets. I don't know if they can actually offer anything. I haven't heard anything from regulators. So I don't know.
Coinbase filed to do this something similar with stocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're asking for approval. I haven't heard anything back. I mean, are they?
And Robinhood did back in March,
right?
Well, so and there's probably others too that I don't think this is like just these 2 companies. There's going to be a lot after that, because it does unlock a lot of opportunities as well. I think regulators are not going to move real fast on it, but I don't think it's going to be like years before we hear it. It'll be at some point this year where there'll be clarification.
But on that, I think the big product that they better announce, and if they don't, it'll be a massive mistake, is staking. They have to show off some form of staking through Bitstamp.
Yeah, I think that's guaranteed to have that staking. And I also think that they'll have crypto lending. And probably a whole bunch of other stuff. Payments by crypto, who knows?
Yeah, they could have a few cool things.
I feel like those are the most obvious ones. So like that has to be there. That tokenization thing is, something that everyone's looking for. And then stablecoin would be pretty cool. I think the street's going to expand this multiple, dude. Like like I've been learning a lot more about tokenization. I have a friend who's building a startup that's in the same space, and we were kind of talking about it. And like, this really is a big deal for people outside of the United States to have the instant settlement and the ability to just immediately trade assets without being tied to actually buying a share of Apple. And it's like, if they figure it out, I mean, this is a massive market that the entire world, Binance is going after it, Kraken, Coin, all these guys are going after it. I think we could see a lot more crypto volumes, which would be good for our take rates as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It is massive for international investors and just money movement internationally.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that, by the way?
Talk about what?
The DEX that you invested in?
I invested in? I mean, yeah, if you have any questions, I can answer some of them.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, so this is a former Palantir engineer. His name is Matteo. He's became a good friend of mine. They just raised a 15 million Series A led by Paradigm. And they essentially built a new DEX. There's a lot of them that are out there. This one's called GTE. In the past year, they've had 625,000 wallets, 10 million tokens launched. They've had 130 billion of testnet volume. Testnet is basically like fake money volume on the platform. And they're moving really quick. And I met the co-founder, Enzo, whose dad built the first data center for Facebook. So I was talking to him on Friday, and it was pretty incredible. He's just grown up in Silicon Valley. And basically their thesis is the entire way we trade assets, commodities, Bitcoin, stocks, etc., should be done in a decentralized way. And I know that's not necessarily original thesis, but when you go into the nuance of how they're thinking of rebuilding the entire architecture, like the foundational databases that need to talk to each other across every single asset class, you realize the New York Stock Exchange is never going to do this. The NASDAQ is never going to do this. Countries theoretically are banning crypto assets because they realize the power it gives to their citizens. He just got back from China, and so many Chinese users they have are using the platform because they get the ability to trade instantly. And it really does seem like this is going to be a market that's out there, and they're competing with Robinhood for this market. So I just think it's going to be such a massive industry. And I knew nothing about tokenization a month ago, and now I'm starting to learn more about it, which means if Robinhood can pull this off at scale, and you have Europeans that are trading Apple and Tesla and Nvidia and Palantir via a tokenized asset, it just feels like that is something the street's going to look at and be like, okay, this is getting way bigger than what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think sort of the way that you're looking at this, and you could tell me if I'm wrong, but you care less about DEXs and more about investing in unbelievable teams. And are you betting on the team here?
I mean, yeah, there's no way I would invest if I didn't know Matteo. He was one of the first engineers at Palantir's AIP bootcamp. So he's like a world-class engineer, definitely betting on the team. But the idea itself, if they're trying to build what FTX wanted to build, but couldn't because they had scummy founders that were frauding people. And they're trying to do it in a way that's 10x better than the infrastructure that existed even 3 years ago, especially because we got Paul Atkins, no Gary Gensler. So like the regulatory frameworks are there as well. But yeah, it's a startup. You never know what could happen, but I think it has a shot.
It's very cool.
Yeah, very cool, man.
The main thing with the decentralized exchanges is they're just not accessible for like the average real world person. There are people that use them constantly because you can save a lot of money from it. But if this is more accessible, that could be a pretty compelling.
Well, that their pitch is essentially Robinhood of crypto. And I know that we're investing in Robinhood, and Robinhood is the Robinhood of crypto, but they are trying to build that user experience that is like anyone can do it. And they have some differentiators from Robinhood, but they're going to be competing with the big guys, and so maybe there's a shot.
That's one of the fun things about Robinhood is, we all three of us were early enough in that nobody was talking about the age of Robinhood much or the Robinhood of whatever, and now it's. The success, not just of the stock, but the actual company. It's just been exciting to track.
Yeah.
Have you, any of you guys looked at the Sam and Johnny Ives controversy that's going on?
You want to talk about that?
The headline. That was it.
Well, I mean, there's really just a headline. Everything else is gone. So essentially, Sam Altman and Johnny Ives, I mean, the relationship might be off.
Wait, Tanner, no. Do you know the story?
I know that. No, I only know that everything was deleted.
Okay, no. So let me explain the story. So the OpenAI already addressed this. So OpenAI they got rid of the press release or the page on their website because it's called IO, right?
Yeah.
Johnny Ive. Apparently, there's a company called IYO. I'll pull up their website in a second. IYO is an audio AI product that you can wear. They pitched OpenAI to invest in them in 2018. OpenAI rejected. Then they took Johnny Ives, who basically has the same idea as them. They stole the idea. Johnny Ives, they bought him out for $6.5 billion. Now he's building that product inside internally, and it's called IO, which is very similar to IYO. So IYO is suing these guys because they're like, hey, this is our shit. This is our product. And apparently the lawsuit has enough legs that OpenAI had to literally erase all the product like announcements that Sam Altman and Johnny Ive did because they're fighting this court case now.
Got you.
Yeah, OpenAI is one of those where, like, if it was a public company, I would not invest in them just because, well, I think it's a commodity. Not that they won't do well. Commodities can across scale, but things like this, if you remember Scarlett Johansson and that voice controversy, there's a lot of data scraping controversies. There's a lot of smoke there, I'll just say. I still use them. I still like the product, but
yeah, I don't know if the lawsuit has any legs, but like this is theoretically what Sam Altman's been experimenting with Johnny Ive, and IYO is saying they stole the idea. And you know, a startup can accuse a company of stealing an idea, but the fact that OpenAI had to put out a press statement, had to delete everything from the website amid the ongoing allegations means there's some legitimacy to this. I mean, otherwise you would just treat it like it was nothing, right?
yeah. If I said that they stole my idea, they would not respond.
Yeah, they would not respond.
So what is this, an earpiece?
Dude, I am so bearish on AI wearables. I really don't think the world is moving towards that, but yes, it's an earpiece.
Yeah.
And you talk to it without seeing a screen, and you probably ask it for the weather, and it tells you the weather. Like, I really don't think this shit is going to be that exciting.
You know what? I saw that video of them asking the Apple guys about this, and he sort of pointed to his watch, and he was like, "It's not going to get any better than this." And I actually believe that.
Wait,
like,
who said that?
I forget his name. What's the
There's an
the guy with the eyebrows at Apple? He's like one of the big developers there, or he's like one of the executives.
I don't know his name, but he said it's not going to get better than the watch.
Yeah, like he said like how can you improve on what we already have here? It's got a screen, it's interactive with every other, like all of your other products. Obviously the watch can get better, but I actually agree with him. How does it get better than a screen? Like, you're going to need a screen, and on your watch is pretty, like, that's not yeah, right.
I don't think anyone's defeating the iPhone, bro. I really don't.
Well, Google.
No, but Google's gonna have I don't think
smartphone, you mean?
Yeah, the smartphone, not the iPhone.
Okay.
Yeah, like
the smartphone is undefeated.
Yeah.
No one is okay. You're on a bus. Everyone is talking to themselves.
It's the dumbest. Like, I feel like I'm going insane when people are like, no, everyone's gonna wear glasses and they're gonna talk. I'm like, what are we talking about, bro? What are we saying? That's not how the world works.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there will be a market for AR that is done very well, and it's going to take a while for that to actually be very good. Like, we're talking about at least 5 years, I'm guessing. There will always be some, very niche type AR that's very important. When you Palantir demonstrated this, I can't remember what was it, Panasonic, with the AR mode that you put on, so you know how to fix and repair and diagnose, and you have that. Like, that's cool, but like everyday average users are not going to be buying Ray-Bans and saying, "Hey, Meta, how do you do X, Y, and Z?" or "Tell me about this." A few people will, but that's not, I don't think, the way that we're going. I think you guys are right.
And most of the time, all these new startups and hardware startups can also just be done by Apple's products. Like,
Yep.
My girlfriend's grandmother has like this extremely expensive sound aid thing, and now it's like Apple is just like, hey, you know what, we're going to make Apple Buds, I don't know what they're called, AirBuds, earpieces. Or I'm dude, my English is jumbled right now. Someone please take this from me.
You're Canadian, so it's a second language for you, Henderson.
Yeah.
iPods.
I want glasses and a new form factor to exist because it would mean more GPUs, more manufacturing. Like, it would be all bullish stuff if we have another form factor that becomes as popular as the iPhone. I don't see it. I just don't freaking see. And people are like, oh, well, you wear glasses all day. It's like, yeah, but I don't wear a battery attached to my head all day that I'm seeing these hologram. Like, no, I just wear glasses to see. Yeah, hearing
No,
aid.
I do think glasses are going to be a big form factor. Yeah, hearing aid. So sorry. All I'm saying is that Apple can also function as a hearing aid.
Yeah.
That's all.
Which is
and
cool.
there will be a lot of medical devices that they also like. Watches are essentially becoming health monitors. Like,
okay, but let's have the conversation on glasses. Roy, do you think it could succeed? And success to me is 1 billion glasses sold worldwide. I think that's a normal definition of success.
I would say probably not. The one thing that gives me a little bit of pause is both you guys are wearing glasses. I don't have to wear glasses. My eyes work and function just fine. And it'll probably be like
my eyes work. Holy crap.
It'll probably be like 10 to 15 years before I need to wear some sort of glasses or have some sort of surgery. But no, there's a ton of people that wear glasses, including in my own family. Three of my family members wear glasses in my immediate family. So you guys are already wearing it. So I guess you guys tell me, is there a point where AR becomes good enough and compelling enough that you're like, hey, my next pair of glasses needs to be this?
literally, 1000%.
No, dude,
It's
you're so wrong.
it's
You're so
without
wrong.
a doubt. It's already on my face.
Dude.
That's the one thing that gives me pause. I think it'll probably take more than 5 years, but I think that we might get there eventually.
Yeah,
First
or it's
of
a
all,
contact. Like it could be contact form.
Contacts.
That's a different story. If it's contacts, I think it's a different. But also, the idea that they're going to make glasses that are as lightweight as on our face right now, I think it's not 5 years away. It's minimum a decade away for the technology to get that good.
Well, I didn't hear you say a time frame, but like it's going to happen.
Okay, but let's put it like realistically, in 10 years, do you think people are going to be walking around, billions of people walking around with their glasses, looking at their notifications like in their eyes while they're walking down the street? Do you think that's going to happen?
I think hardware takes time to scale. To say, do I think there's going to be billions of people walking around? Like, and also whenever you say, oh, are they going to be walking around like doing that? Like, I don't think people are going to look dumb on the street. I think, oh, what song is playing right now? And then on your glasses, it displays this song. Do you want to add it to your Spotify playlist?
How is that remotely useful?
It's quality of life.
It is absolutely idiotic. The idea
Live
that
translation.
a live translation is the next dumbest idea I've ever heard. Like
directions,
dude. The idea that Meta and Apple are going to invest billions of dollars to make these glasses for people to put them on and say, Siri, what song am I listening to? Is insanity. Like, what Kool-Aid are we drinking to assume?
No, I don't mean a song that's like, but your phone does that today. I think that easy products that could be.
That's my point.
Yes, but okay. I just went on a long run today. I can't pull out my phone to address something. I need to see something right here. You know, I'm not running and pulling out my phone. I was trying to change the song and I was like running and I'm like, it's freaking ridiculous. You can touch like double tap on your AirPods. I mean, there's like different ways that we can change the song without. Whenever we were in San Francisco, I told Roy about this, but I lost my actual nice headphones. So now I'm using these janky things that I still had. And I double tapped it because I thought that was going to change the song. And then it paused it. Then I tried doing it again and it didn't unpause. So I just like took out my headphones, threw them in my pocket. If I could just talk to my face.
Hold on. If you could also just buy some new AirPods, you got like 50,000 shares of Nvidia. You can afford to buy some new AirPods. Like,
yeah, but I just haven't yet. I'm going to buy new. Anyway, that's not the point.
No, that is the point. The point is the use case that you're worried about is because you're just being cheap. Like, you can easily solve this problem. Like, I'm asking both of you for a use case with glasses that meaningfully, like, this thing allows me to surf the entire web. Game changer, right? Right in the palm of my hands.
It doesn't need to be a game changer to get a lot of purchases.
No, it has to. It absolutely has to.
So
if you're going to replace the iPhone, it has to.
Dude, there's been a lot of tags. There's been a lot of devices that tag things. Then Apple puts out a tag device and it's the best selling one. It does not have to be revolutionary for it to be useful. You can sell a bunch of AirTags and that shit is expensive GPSs.
Let me rephrase. Maybe useful is not the wrong. I'm talking about a revolution in terms of technology, like Apple tried to do this with Vision Pro. Meta's working on Orion. Like everyone's thinking the iPhone's we're not going to be an iPhone 57, right? We're eventually going to move on from the iPhone. I don't know if we ever actually are eventually going to.
No, I don't think so either. But this will be inclusive, the same way that we have a watch or earbuds, or we're getting more products.
But then it's not going to be that big of a deal. It's just that simple.
So I think the reason why Tanner is right ultimately is we're already comfortable with that form factor. Now, does everyone wear glasses? No. But also you can say, does everybody wear watches? Well, no, but a lot of people do. And I still remember, and I'm sure there's some people in the comments as well. Evan's there. You can comment on this, Evan. That made fun of the iWatch. I don't know if that's what it's called when it came out. And they're like, nobody needs a smartwatch. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to upgrade. And you see it all the time. You see competitor products as well. And I would say a lot more people wear glasses and are comfortable doing so than wear a watch. So it needs to be good. One of the things that has to happen is a battery has to get a lot better, or it has to do very, very minimal. And I think both will happen and both will be true over the next 5 years. But no, I think that's going to be likely, just not like in the next couple of years. And then maybe contacts beyond that, although contacts can be pretty uncomfortable for people. I'm curious, does this go as far as like a Neuralink type thing or a cochlear type of implant where instead of glasses or anything else, do you think people get to comfortable to the point where they have a minor surgery, an outpatient surgery that installs something that connects directly to your brain? Now that's a ways out, but what do you guys think?
It has to be so good. It has to be so good in order to involve surgery.
So I actually think the chip in your brain is way more bullish than the glasses, because that I think there's like legitimate use cases because it's a freaking chip in your brain. A hardware device on your face to try to interact with the world, to me, it's going to sell. It's not going to replace the phone. And if the debate is that, well, it's going to be complementary to the phone, then okay. But I'm talking about what's the next form factor of computing, because that's how Tim Cook and Meta pitch it to the entire world, right? This is the next form factor. I don't think it's the next.
Okay, this is what I'll say it's like, because I think we're looking at the glasses like two different scales of innovation. It's going to be like an iPad. A lot of people are going to love it, but it's not for everyone. It's not going to do a new use case. It's just a new form factor. It's fine. It's not a computer. It's not an iPhone. It's something in between that's comfortable for certain situations.
Yeah, but then that's just not a revolutionary problem. But we've been being pitched for the past couple of years that this is going to be the next big thing. That's my problem is with the framing of this. Like, sure, Google has glasses, Apple has glasses, everyone's going to have glasses. All right, some people can try it out and it might be useful for some people, but it's not going to be the next compute product. And OpenAI, by the way, the reason they're focused so much on this is because they're trying to get people off the phone. They're trying to enter you into an AI-driven operating system that doesn't require a screen, which means glasses or earbuds, that would be the most obvious next evolution of how this plays out. But I'm against the idea that people without a screen would interact in their day-to-day lives in a way that would be meaningful for them. I just don't see that personally happening.
Evan said 30-second non-skippable ads right in your brain.
Honestly, like it's a science fiction like horror story that's been told many, many times. I see like in some cases, like you're paralyzed, you're quadriplegic, something like a Neuralink can give you back, quality of life. That's great. I don't know that it ever becomes mainstream. And I think if it does, it's going to be a multiple generations down the road type of thing. Just that's a big leap from just something you buy and wear and you can always take off versus like it plugs literally into your brain. So
yeah.
I
It's
think
going to be one of those things that happens whenever we're really old and we're like, I don't understand these kids. Like,
yeah.
For the most part, I think I'm going to be a very techie person, but that's crazy.
People will watch Black Mirror and look at it as like a history documentary. It's like, but it's supposed to be science fiction. Come on.
But that's why it needs to be, like offer you some pretty differentiated services. Like, the way you think is like surfing the web.
I think the humanoid robot will be a gajillion times more impactful than any AI wearable that we could ever imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Apple might be a part of that too.
Apple's not going to do shit, bro.
I mean, they might put their Apple label on something.
I'm not betting on them. But
I'm betting against them.
In a way, my Apple pick in the draft, I think to some extent is hedged by the fact that I don't think Meta is going to figure out glasses or scale them in a way that gets people to not use their phone or want to upgrade to the new iPhone. I think there will always be demand for the iPhone.
Yeah, that almost has me, because I don't agree with you on the iPhone. To a certain extent, you're right. I think Google just does whatever Apple does and just does it better. Like, we're at that point where even the most diehard Apple fans, for the most part, there's still a few that they see it.
What do you
They're
mean?
like,
Hold on.
"Hey."
What do you mean a few? Like, I know you use Google, but most people use iOS, not internationally, but in North America, most people are not on Android.
Yeah, but a lot of people that own Apple products, they used to say, "Oh, it's just better and better product and better user interface." Now, the reason why most people tell me why they're on Apple is just because, well, I've used it for a long time and it's comfortable, or everything that I have is in the Apple ecosystem. And you know what? Really, so switching costs is a real thing, and it's a real reason why a lot of people don't switch, even though most would probably say, "Yeah, bang for the buck." What Google offers from their Pixel is just frankly a better product. It's more exciting. Look at their innovation day, like a lot of better products versus like Apple's like, "Hey, we're bringing out Microsoft Vista technology to our user interface." It's like, come on, guys. Like, it's fine, but like that's what it seemed like that they were one of the things that they were most excited about. So AI can, and I think will, enable that switching cost to be a lot less, where if you want to move away from the Apple ecosystem, you won't exactly have a one-for-one, but it'll be pretty close. It'll be seamless, and AI can manage it for you, and it'll do a lot of that. And Google, I don't know, like I'm getting more and more warmed up on Google, Tanner, just because I see a lot of weakness in Apple, and somebody's got to win. I think it's Google, even though the biggest part of their business is being disrupted, and that's one of the reasons why the stock is weak right now.
Whenever he says switching costs, by the way, everyone thinks of like actual dollars. What switching cost means is time, complexity. It's very hard to go from one ecosystem to another and it feel like what you had it in the other ecosystem. So that's why a lot of people don't switch. That's definitely for sure. The form factor and the coolness of Apple is still there. The blue bubbles, honestly, it's very real. Like blue versus, like, it's crazy, especially kids. Like, they get bullied in school if they don't have an iPhone. However, as new services and products get made, things can change quickly, especially in an AI era. You're going to see if Apple starts to fall behind and they can only partner in different ways. Google has its own frontier AI models. And they know a lot of data about you. Similar with Apple, they can definitely start to win. And I think that because it hasn't been that way, doesn't mean that it can't be going forward. And Google's a strong competitor. Pixel used to be a budget phone. It is no longer. It's very much a flagship phone that people look at now.
Yeah,
give that a couple more generations.
They have a really good ecosystem. I know that there's some things that Apple does still quite well, but there's a high price tag to that. But really, the biggest reason, just ask your friends if you guys don't believe me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just in the circles that I've been around, but I've asked a lot of people. 90% of the time, close to 90% of the time, the answer I get is, it's hard to switch away when you've been using it all that time.
I think Google's going to outperform Apple because Google's cheap, Apple's expensive. I don't think it's going to outperform Apple because Google's going to get people to leave iOS for Android. I just feel like that's too extreme, bro. Some people will, but
so short term, I mean, like long term, like the real answer is it's not that Google is cheap and Apple is expensive. Like, not only Google is innovating and disrupting, and Apple is sitting still.
Who's going to truly make an AI sidekick for you? Who's going to make the first AI assistant where the phone already knows what you want to do whenever you open it?
No, that's fair. Google could make the best AI in the world. I am never going to Android, bro.
Yes, you will, bro.
No, I will bet you so much money. I will never do. Dude, you couldn't pay me enough to use Android, bro.
Apple is a cult, like, frankly, but it's less of
not a cult. I've used it for 15 years, bro.
It's a cult. Well, it's cool. But the day that it's no longer cool, you're going to be hoping to get rid of it.
Like it,
and that doesn't need to be the case. But if they keep going down the way that they're going, that is how that's going to happen. And new colors are dumb. You need to work on your actual products.
I agree with all that, but I'm not going to freaking Android, bro. Like, just not doing that.
So basically, I see Apple as the Ottoman Empire of like the 1800s. Like it was well past its prime, but it still would last a good while longer, even though it had a lot of problems, just because it was massive. Like it takes a while to disrupt something like that. And there's a little bit here, a little bit there, and then suddenly all at once in World War One. So I think that's going to be the case for Apple. And really, I think the writing is on the wall as far as the trajectory that it's going. And barring something unforeseen, which could happen, Apple is just, I mean, they're not really trying anymore. Like Apple Intelligence is a joke. There's actually, I think there's lawsuits, or at least there's talks of lawsuits from investors. Actually, I remember there's a class action lawsuit. A lot of these are nonsense, but this is one I don't think that it is, based on that WWJD, I think it was last year, not this year, and Apple Intelligence, where they were deliberately misleading as far as what they were actually doing that was proprietary. And I think that they have perhaps a case on their hands. I'm not a lawyer, but like ultimately, when you'll really see decline accelerate is when young people that are able to perhaps get their first phone as an adult, as teenagers beforehand, that they're looking at Apple and like, I got an iPhone, I guess it's better than nothing. At that point, Apple is done. It will take still a long time, but yeah, I think it's going to be a slow decline.
Amit, you switching to the T1?
It's a phone?
Yeah.
No, dude, I'm gonna get the new iPhone when it comes out.
You don't know the T1?
It's a Google product?
No, it's the Trump phone.
Oh, that thing. Okay. That thing's gonna be a banger. Gold, it's gonna be a banger.
The fucking
Okay.
T1.
I mean, it's made in America, baby. It's made in America.
American made in China.
Correct. Okay, let's end off on Tesla. So,
Yes.
Robotaxi, it's out. Tanner, what was your takeaway from it?
Very cool. Can you pull up the Joseph Carlson video?
The one video.
No, I'm going to pull up the stock. That's what matters more.
That's right.
Joseph Carlson's.
So overall, I think it's good, but I think the amount of miles that they actually clocked during that day in order to have that big of a mess up was surprising. They did not clock a lot of miles.
Hold on. This is not that big of a mess up, bro. It doesn't make the turn. Are you telling me this is the worst thing in the world?
It doesn't make a turn. It's in oncoming traffic right now.
Yeah.
It's in oncoming traffic.
Look, it's bad.
If you watch the whole video, though, like a human driver did the same thing right there. Like there are things that need to be worked out. It's not 100% perfect, but if you've actually been in hardware for the newest version of full self-driving, like it's very, very good. Better people like Tanner that has sold stock and probably shorted it. Just kidding. Give it credit for. I will say, it's the beginning. I think it's justified that Tesla moved up because, this is something that can scale rapidly, but I think that they need to do it deliberately, slowly, just because of things like that. Because it only takes, like, that's a nothing burger, but it only takes one big event to really get a lot of scrutiny. And we saw it all the time with Google's product. I can't think of the name for some reason.
I'm just surprised by the move based on, like, I'm not saying that it's not cool. Like, I would still get in one. I don't think they're dangerous. And like, it's absolutely fine. I'm just surprised by the move, considering that the entire market knew the date, the invites went out, everything like this. And I mean, it wasn't flawless. And they asked for this safety data to be private. I'm just surprised by the move.
I am not that surprised by the move because I think the market was so impressed by what they were looking at, which is the future. Now, granted, is earnings going to suck? Yeah. But regardless, I think the market's just looking at this like, dude, it's going to be way better than Waymo. Tesla's going to flip a switch. You're going to have hundreds of thousands of vehicles. The interface was clean. The experience was nice. Yes, it was geofence. Yes.
We knew all that data already.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to touch it, bro. You got to feel it. And the market got to feel what the future looks like. Let me tell you, that Waymo experience we had, garbage, trash, horrible experience.
It was mediocre. I wouldn't say garbage.
It was worse than mediocre, bro. It was a stupid Jaguar picked us up and we had to walk to it. Like there was nothing interesting about that experience.
It was okay. I'd give it like a 4 out of 10, star review.
Whenever you guys are whenever it actually happened, you were like, so cool. This is the future. And now that there's a shinier girl. Well, I guess that doesn't fit, but like,
This girl
turning
is
on her, bro.
This girl's pretty shiny, is what I'm saying.
At the time, we talked about how obscenely expensive it was, and I think Amit paid for all of it, so I shouldn't have been complaining, but he could. For that little ride compared to like anything else is like, okay, that's a premium. That's weird. We had to walk to where it would pick us up, and it's like, oh man, that's not great. And then it didn't drop us off at the exact right location. There's still a little bit of walking. It was just like, it was neat. It was fun. I'm glad that we did it, and I'm glad Amit paid for it. But like, would I do it again? Nah.
Dude, $20 for 1 mile? What? Like,
no. Okay. So obviously what they are charging versus what they could charge is two different stories. Tesla, I'm not under the impression that $4.20 is the fee that they're charging. This is their event launch price for creators, essentially. Is that my understanding?
Yeah, it's obviously not going to be $4.20, and scale will determine the cost per mile. But the point is, just watching all the videos that all of us saw over the weekend, it looked like a beautiful experience.
Yeah. It looked like a taxi experience.
It looked like a sexy Apple type of experience. Like, that's what it felt like.
I don't know. I think you guys are a little bit cult brainwashed. There was a dude in the passenger seat. Like, you couldn't, in the Waymo, we were all alone. Okay. It didn't mess up. The Tesla experience was a 4-mile geofenced area, 4 miles by 2 miles. It was cool, but it wasn't, all the new data that we got was a little bit disappointing versus improved on the experience. We knew what the UI looked like. We knew like that it was going to happen on the 22nd. The new data was, hey, it messed up once in a few hundred rides. It was in a tiny area, and there was somebody in the passenger seat. You couldn't ride alone. I don't know why the stock went up 9%.
Because when Tesla gets this right, they will flip a switch and hundreds of thousands of vehicles will enter into this network.
We knew that.
Yeah, but now the market got to see it. Like, actually, for 10 years, Elon's been saying it's coming. On Sunday or Saturday, it actually happened. Or Sunday, yeah. People saw it. And so the thesis has always been there, but just feeling that they got over the hump of, like, not the finish line, but the hump of making it happen. Now, look, is it going to stay at 355? I don't know, but you could understand why people are excited.
Yes. I'm also like, I want to make sure that people, I feel like whenever I give my opinion on things, people are like, he hates Tesla. I don't hate Tesla. I just don't understand. Like, the market reaction was surprising. I'm very bullish on the future of autonomous vehicles. Like, I hope that the car that I own will be the last. Like, I want this full time.
And I'm going to buy a Tesla share just because of you, or put in that limit buy anyways. So
there you go.
I'll let you guys know when it fulfills.
Yeah, in 24-hour markets.
Yeah.
Dude, all I'm saying is, like, it was exciting. Like, why doesn't Google have any fun events like this? Like, this was...
They do. Google's I.O. event was great.
Google's I.O. event put all of us to sleep.
No. Okay. Watch the Apple event and then tell me that the Google I.O. event was boring. And
Apple event was trash too, but Tesla threw a party. Like, they got all these influencers. Like, it was fun, bro.
Tesla does trade on a narrative, and so that's really what's going on here. Is the narrative suddenly became better, and so Tesla stock goes up versus down. It does not trade on fundamentals. So
was I watching a different thing? It was the Tesla thing was the most boring event out of all three of those.
What Tesla?
Like, I'd rather watch the Apple event than watch Tesla. No one was saying anything. It was all like quiet people in coffee shops. Like, yeah, no, Tesla, we're about to get picked up, and then like they were recording on their phones in silence with another dude with his hat on like this. This is the the whole time, bro. What's the, like, I don't get the excitement. It was a taxi ride.
So the excitement is Elon made a deadline. That's the excitement. You know how rare that is?
Yes, I agree.
It's happened one other time. Just one other time. This is the second time when it relates to Tesla ever.
But we knew that he made, we didn't find that out today. We found that out whenever they invited all the influencers for the Sunday event. That's when I knew that he was going to be on time. And I was very excited for that. I was surprised.
Dude, here's the thing. if Tesla turns on a switch and hundreds of thousands of vehicles are on the road, creating a way better experience than maybe 2,000, max 5,000 Waymos in a couple of years, the street knows that's going to be crazy. So the question just becomes, does the street believe they can do it? And on Sunday, Elon proved they can do it. There's a lot of hiccups, regulations, all that stuff, but they can do it. Maybe it's going to take 2-3 more years, but Waymo's not going to figure it out in 2-3 more years in terms of making it scalable in a meaningful way.
I've never been on the side of Waymo in terms of LiDAR versus cameras. I mean, I've been on Elon's side the entire time. The way that we drive today is with our eyes. It's going to be with cameras. It's cheap. I'm betting on SoFi in that regard. So I saw a comment. Someone said, Tanner, you can't ride in a SoFi. And then it got me caught.
He misses her. Well, SoFi is doing great, bro. 50. Look at that. It's almost 16. Holy
Yeah.
So I got the share Tesla, by the way. I didn't put 24-hour markets in. I was like, why is it not filling? So it's filled now.
Look at SoFi, 1570.
Yeah.
I mean, SoFi has been undervalued. Loan platform is killing it. There's a lot going right. And then that quarter two, markets can be stupid at times. They're going to look at that quarter two comp, which is very weak. SoFi might put in like a 40-ish% year-over-year growth. I think people will be excited about that.
Okay, Tanner, if you have to make
SoFi will get Robotaxis first and then level 1 options.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, level 1 options will be last. If you had to make an acronym for FSD related to SoFi, what would it be?
Sorry, I have to fill in FSD, but SoFi related.
Yeah.
Someone
in the chat put something.
I'm not sure.
Financial service division.
There you go. That's not bad.
I mean, yeah,
that's not bad.
There you go.
All right. So are you buying Tesla here, Tanner, or you're still sticking with NVIDIA?
No, I'm not buying Tesla here. Yeah, happy with NVIDIA. Honestly, I'm buying Nubank. I'll be buying Google.
Wait, hold on. When did you start buying Google?
What?
Do you have Google right now or no?
Oh yeah.
When did you start buying it? I didn't know this.
3-4 quarters ago. Yeah, we've had discussions on it.
Oh, that's why you've been so bullish. I've been wondering.
I've got like multiple videos, like top 5 reasons I'm buying Google, all this stuff.
Okay, so Google, NVIDIA, what else? Nubank.
Sorry, Nubank. That's the big one that I'm really buying right now. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the most part. I want to get a cybersecurity name, but I got to be careful with my words. CrowdStrike seems pricey. SentinelOne seems like a loser. So
Rubrik is worth a look. Look at
Rubrik is the one. Honestly, that is the one. They are a winner.
I've been following them since a little bit after they IPO'd, and I didn't have funds at the time to get in, and I don't get in IPOs right away into it. But I'm like, man, I got to keep this on my radar, and I have been. And I'm like, from the sidelines, like they're killing it. So Palo Alto, possibly Zscaler, but yeah, I think Rubrik.
I also
Sam Solid is a good guy. Like if you have questions on that, ask him about it.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's pretty much it. So overall, next week, Robinhood, big event. I'll probably be streaming it live. I don't know what time it is, but I'm sure whatever time it is, we'll try to stream it. And is it going to be happening during this show, do you think? No.
Well, what's the... I don't know the time zone for France.
It's going to be at 5 p.m. CEST. 5 p.m. CEST to EST. Oh, 11 a.m. Okay, perfect. So
we're doing it.
You and I should stream that on the day, and then we'll talk about it at night. We'll keep going from there, and yeah, that is pretty much it. Should be exciting.
All right.
So yeah, there you go. We'll be back next week. We will cover Robinhood. We'll see any updates we have in the world of Tesla. Obviously, geopolitically, we have a ceasefire, kind of. Some reports after hours are saying we don't have a ceasefire, so we'll see how the market reacts to that later. But overall, we will keep analyzing what goes on in the world of tech, and big event next week for Robinhood. So we'll be covering that as well.
Very exciting news.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. We will be back next Monday. Bye, everyone.
Peace.